SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold, and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to do XRP. That's right, we're going to do it, but this time we're going to look at it slightly differently, but again with the same overview. I know a lot of people will be watching XRP running up, where most altcoins are effectively going down or static. Very few of them going up, especially to the extent that XRP is going up. XRP is absolutely exploding here. Someone told you about this a little while ago. Yeah, it was me. It was me. But what we're seeing now, though, or what we should choose to view now is a rinse and repeat market cycle price action type video, really. So this is the last downtrend that we've all been more than aware of. So peaking all the way over here in April 2021, like everything else, coming down over a period of 714 days. Fair enough. All right, that's fine. Let's have a look at the last peak over here. This is 2017 into 18, coming all the way down to a period of 800 so days. Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's probably about 900 days. Fair enough. All right, fair enough. And then big moves up. That doesn't look much, but that was 100%. That was about 200%, and so on and so on. And then prior to that, you got to look all the way over here. I'll turn it onto log scale first, but this is XRP's first parabolic shift. Massive big move from when it was down here at 0.0006. And managed to peak all the way up at 3 cents. That's right, 3 cents. And it was around that 3 cent area to which I bought. So we're all subject to FOMO at some points. It wasn't particularly FOMO for me, just to put it out there. It wasn't really massive FOMO, in all fairness, although that wasn't an ideal. That was not an ideal entry point. I did buy it around about 3 cents, and I did question what I'd done with my life for a while afterwards, until la 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 la, basically 100x appeared down the line. This is why I always talk about buy, hold, and stake where possible. You know, buy, hold, stake, because you've got to allow for a full market cycle to fulfill to really see the big gains. And so if you can earn interest on alongside just hodling, which is for the most part has been, well, arguably the best strategy. I mean, this is my first introduction into altcoins, and I bought XRP back around these levels, back in those days. And then, you know, this is my first epic, sort of sizable parabolic run on an altcoin. This is the best thing that I've done ever, really, in hindsight, but it did take a while to mature, so just put it into context. You know, it takes a while. This last alt season, or this, should I say, this last market, that, you know, 2019 to 2021, it was all about Matic. Matic did over 100x, still at 100x now, and that was the coin of the last bull market. So I'm not entirely sure what the coin of this next bull market will be. Might not have reared its head yet, but I never expect 100x, just to put it out there. Just never expect 100x. But the thing to focus on is the end of a bull market, which at the minute we're at probably the very, very baby steps of the beginning of it. And that doesn't mean we're going to incrementally make strides up to higher highs all the time because it's a bull market. No. Bull markets are largely sideways, very volatile, testing for altcoins all over the place. So be prepared to hold on to your balls, because they will get kicked many times throughout the next two to 3 years, really. So be prepared for that. So let's think about this change of behavior. So we've broken outside of a descending triangle. We broke outside of a descending triangle over here, and we did it again over here as well. So this is the XRP market cycle. It spends more time going down than it does going up. It's the opposite of Bitcoin for the most part. Bitcoin goes down for a 12-month period, give or take, goes up more or less for a 3-year period, give or take, and XRP does the opposite. But they kind of do sort of tie together quite nicely as far as their cycle is concerned, but they have detached. And there is a 4-year cycle for XRP, but it's different. It is different, which makes it a good diversifier, generally speaking. Also, people hate it, like absolutely hate it, which makes me love it more when it pumps, because it pumps in the face of everybody that slags it off. At the end of the day, this last bull market for XRP was, well, it was kicked down the stairs by the SEC, which is still an ongoing case, which is likely to get resolved, and most likely in the favour of XRP, because they couldn't even beat KuCoin, right? I know the SEC just seemed like a little tiny voice, shouting down the Grand Canyon, Yeah, it's just not. It means really effectively nothing to an extent. All they're doing is hurting the people who bought and invested anyway. So what we see here is a lower high, unfortunately. Although I expected it, and it probably should have been a higher high as far as the market cycle is concerned. So let's just assume that the SEC works out fine, whether that's they just pay to silence them or they actually win outright. Then we can continue with this market cycle. And if that's the case, we're going to go to a new local high on this weekly, which basically means we should be seeing prices of over $2. So at this point in the market now, you might be thinking $2. That is pathetic. 250. Oh, I'm not paying $2. 250, 260% gains. This is crypto, man. I could get more looking down the back of my chair, my furniture, whatever. But you might. But this is, unfortunately, this is what I can present you. Does that mean it's going to do it now? Not really. Let's have a think about the size and length of these gains. This one took about just about a year, 320 days. This one took about the same, 280 days. So we're thinking what we're seeing now is maybe the low was formed around here and the uptrend started. Then let's measure it out for a full year. We're looking for that sort of gain from the low to the high over about a year. So that brings us up to December 2023. So we've got 12 months really before I would expect to see XRP take out this high. So normally in a normal world, not a crypto world, in a normal world, if someone says to you, would you be interested in making 250% in a 12-month period? You'd say, yes, please. Yes, please. But if you say that in crypto, they'll be like, what are you talking about? No, have you not seen that new token that's got a picture of a furry sloth on it? That's the one I'm buying. And says, why? It was, well, I saw it on Twitter. And that's a fair enough thing. That can move markets in it, obviously. And, you might even be right. There'll be me with my 250% gain. Exactly as expected. Quite happy with that because that's what I'd charted out for myself and sit back and enjoy that. And there's you with your 1,000,000,000% gain saying, haha, I just told you about the sloth token, didn't I? But I just don't do that sort of thing. That's just not how I trade. That's not how I expose myself. Yeah, you can put a few $100s into the sloth token or whatever, but if you're looking for liquidity and likelihood of reward, then yeah, you could put it into XRP. 250% gain over a 12-month period seems reasonable. However, this might not work. This might come down. You might be waiting another year on top of that. This is not definitely the absolute rinse and repeat version of the previous cycle. The last one was broken because of the SEC, so it is slightly confused in comparison to where it should have been. It should have made a new high. But then you can flip that and say, well, okay, well, if it should have made a new high when the SEC kept it down, and they kept it down not just by FUD, but exchanges stopped listing it. Coinbase didn't list it. Loads of places stopped listing it. It actually changed the game, really, when the SEC did that, of the entire crypto market. That's where things started to get a little bit soured, really, within this bull market by the SEC. They kind of broke the system, but they definitely broke this chart. So if we're thinking, all right, optimistically, we could think about a 12-month period, 250% gain. That's pretty good. If this is a broken cycle and we're having to form a new portion of the cycle due to the fact that we ended up doing this, then we might be looking for the full 2 to 2.5 years. But if that is the case, then I would expect a brand new high to be formed. So we're talking XRP of towards $5 to $7 or so, and that's just off the top of my head. So let's just turn it onto the log scale when these are not as relevant, although they still have some sort of relevance to it there, but not as much relevance. Now we all like to do things like this, and we will do it. We all like to do these sort of things, but let me just put it out to you that this is a hopium. This is pure hopium. So let's just say, all right, cool, all right, fine. We started to rally from here, so we are looking for the previous high of around 250. 250 was more or less the previous high. There was obviously a higher high, another dollar more than that. So $2.50 for an XRP token based on what we see on this chart on a log scale. Fair enough. All right, that's fine. Let's take it down to the shorter term time frame so we can have a look at what's going on right now. Because I know a lot of people are going to want to get in on this, and they're going to want FOMO into this area, and that's fine if you're willing to FOMO. You know what FOMO does? You end up usually getting hurt. You know, you almost always get hurt. XRP likes to do this, right? We break out, we pump aggressively. And what have we pumped so far? 100% really from this previous low up to here. No, not quite that. But we could easily do 100%. We're getting ourselves a golden cross. Quite contrived, but it does exist. The golden cross on the daily now exists. And so what you'd be looking for would be for this extreme divergence. There's your green 50 exponential, there's your 200 exponential, and you'd be looking for this XRP candle body to maybe top out roughly around here, maybe spike up a little further, and then eventually consolidate down into these moving averages, which is your next area to pick it up from. Now, I don't know where the price will be at that point. I don't know where it will be, because we don't know where the moving averages will be. We don't know anything about it, but what we do know is that XRP likes to do that. So we just go back in time to the last humble beginnings of the previous massive uptrend. So we came out of the descending triangle. First of all, we had the March crash, and then we stayed back in it, getting rejected from it all the way. We crept out of it, we surfed it on the way down, we came down to effectively double bottom around this area in the upper teens, and then we started our first major move up. 200 exponential perfect retest and tag. So that was your first little gain. 20%. People were like, what? No way. Then we had the latest stage of the run, which went all the way up. Massive run up. Okay, so from this point here, from the Bollinger Band, we'll measure it from, because that would have been your entry point. That gave us a 72% gain. Okay, brilliant. Then we consolidated. We consolidated into and accumulated around the 200 exponential for quite a long period of time. More or less, for the most part, staying above it. There was some periods where we went down, probably given to us by the broader market. So if we're consolidating here on XRP and then Bitcoin pulls back or something happens, then yeah, XRP will come down further, but it reclaimed the 200 for the most part, dancing around that 200. Any point on this 200 exponential while being above it for XRP is a worthy entry point. You know, I'm talking spot here. You can do derivatives if you want, but be prepared for pain. This is a daily chart, and again, you know, this didn't yield immediate springboards back up, but eventually it did. And then basically what happened is we stayed and accumulated around the 200 exponential, and let's just measure it from the last time it reclaimed it and tested it, which is more or less this candle body here. And then from here to here, over the space of 19 days, it did 226%. Okay, then we consolidated once again, and we were pulled down the stairs by SEC, and we didn't really do a great deal more than that. We never got the death cross. So this was a part of a pump group, if you remember that. Again, these are all many reasons why the XRP chart is slightly confused now, because SEC dumped it, the pump group pumped it. It kind of broke its normal move and the way it should normally go. But even after the pump group, it stayed above the 200 exponential ever so slightly, tried to retest it here, but again went on for another run. And so we can just measure it roughly from, we can measure it from this wick if you like, which gave us a yield of 430%. So the best thing for anyone to do, whether you want XRP or not, is to always think about buying it on the 200 exponential. Even in this bear market, we were up to the top of the triangle, came down to the 200 exponential. Yeah, we even had a decent run at that point, really, didn't we? So the last time we tested it up to this range here was a 47% gain. Fair enough, but it was a bear market, or coming into a bear market, reasonably established at that point, I'd say, into 2022. So long story short, if you want to buy XRP, feel free to do it. If you want to buy it for the 250 gain, you know, 250% gain over a 12 to 2 year period, 12-month, 24-month period, that's fine as well. Recognize what I said at the beginning of the video. I bought this when it was like 3.5 cents at a massive peak, and I spent a fair bit of time questioning my entire existence thereafter until 2018, where, you know, my existence was, well, it was complemented significantly with 100x. So, and you're not going to get 100x from XRP. It's very unlikely that you'll get 100x. You'll get 250%. Yeah, you might even get a 500%. Maybe you'll get a 10x at best. But 250 is probably what you're looking for from this exact level. Now, if you were to wait for the consolidation back down to the 40s, that's fine. But again, thinking on a technical basis, the 200 exponential is going to be your best friend or worst enemy, depending if you're above it or below it. That is as simple as it comes for XRP. But the main thing to focus on is that it does look like, even though we have a broken cycle to an extent because of the SEC and the pump group and then bear market, whatever, it does look like a rinse and repeat scenario playing out for XRP here. And if the SEC do give up or lose that court case, it will add rocket fuel to this. But be prepared to sell it when it gets up to significant highs. And those highs, you know, you can come back to this channel. We can discuss where those highs will be closer to the time, because it's not as easy as making a measured move for the most part, because you don't know how far Captain Noobmaster will FOMO these things. And so we could be looking at much higher than that. There's all kinds of reasons why XRP could go much higher than that. But yeah, we'll have to see closer to the time. But for the moment, for right now, anyone who wants to buy it, I would certainly hold off and wait. And if it goes all the way up to 65, 70, 80, maybe even $1 in the short term, which is possible, just accept that you've missed out on this one, and XRP will always be generous enough to allow you back in at a later date at that 200 exponential. This is what I said last time, and I'll say it again this time. This is what it's going to do. It's very forgiving. This chart is a very forgiving chart. It doesn't think bad of you for talking nonsense and hating on XRP. It doesn't. You know, it's a very kind coin. You know, it says, all right, don't worry. I'll give you another chance, and you will get another chance. Just, I would always say, don't FOMO, because you know, XRP can take everything away from you. But you will get that chance again. 200 exponential, which currently is all the way down here in the lower 40s. But over the next week, 2, or a couple of months or so, when we might eventually retest it, because we will eventually retest it. We don't know where the price will be. Just be patient. Keep it on your favourites list. Nice little star in the corner. And if you're buying and holding for the long run, I'm sure you'll be fine. Right, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.